Good morning, everyone. You are very much welcome to Carnival Radio Breakfast Show. This is a beautiful Monday morning, and this is newspaper review on Carnival Radio, your enjoyment unlimited station. My name is Ibrahim Adebayo. We commence the newspaper review with the headlines in the newspaper. Nigerians sovereign reverse floating of Naira, energy cost, Labour urges Tinubu. President Bola Tinubu arrives Brazil for G20 summit. NDDC to spend 1.9 trillion naira 2024 budget on legacy projects. Minimum wage, federal government to spend 6.5 trillion naira, says MTEF. Dangote, Ipman sign 240 million liters monthly petrol deal. Now the news in detail. Nigerian sovereign refers floating of Naira, energy cost. Labour urges President Bola Tinubu. Organized Labour a weekend in Ibadan, Oyo State, Nigeria, urged President Bola Tinubu to reverse the floating of the national currency and energy cost to lessen the hardship across the country. Under the aegis of the National Union of Shop and Distributive Employee, NUSDE, organized Labour noted that Nigerians and businesses are passing through very difficult times and that the federal government needs to address the issue urgently before things get out of hand. President of NUSDE, Aminu, who spoke while addressing guests and members of the union at the 6th Quadrennial and the 13th National Delegate Conference NDC of NUSDE in Ibadan, Oyo State, said Nigerian workers and businesses in the country are facing difficult times because of some of the policies implemented by the government. The cost of the energy is provocatively high, and this has affected production, services, and workers' welfare negatively. Nigerian sovereign reverse floating of Naira energy cost. Labour urges President Tinubu. For more details on the news, you can visit the Vanguard newspaper. President Tinubu arrives Brazil for G20 summit. President Bola Tinubu has arrived in Rio de Janeiro, in Brazil, to attend the 19th Heads of State and Government Summit of the group of G20. The president, who arrived yesterday at 11:03 p.m. local time, Monday 3 a.m. Nigerian time, was received by Ambassador Breno Costa of the Ministry of External Relations of Brazil. He was accompanied by the Minister of Foreign Affairs, Yusuf Tugo, the Minister of Livestock Development, Ide Mukhtar Mahia, and the Minister of Art, Tourism, Culture and Creativity, Anatu Muzawa. Others are Minister of State for Agriculture and Food Security, Dr. Aliyu Sabi Abdullahi, and the Director General of the National Intelligence Agency, Ambassador Muhammad Muhammad. Tinubu is also expected to hold bilateral meetings on the sidelines of the summit on the advancement of Nigerian socio-economic reforms. President of Brazil, Lula da Silva, is hosting the 2024 G20 summit, having held the group rotating presidency since December 21, 2023's tenure ends on November 30. The summit, with the theme Building a Just World and a Sustainable Planet, we focus on three dimensions of sustainable development: economy, social and environmental, and the reform of the global governance. It will also highlight the rising global temperatures and the principles of the digital economy, among other themes. The Brazilian president will also treat as a priority the Israeli-Hamas war and the rising bloc confrontation between the United States and China. News Agency of Nigeria reports that the conclusion of the war carried out by the country holding the G20 rotating president is usually presented at the annual summit. It is the moment when the head of state and the government approve the agreement negotiated throughout the year and point out ways of dealing with global challenges. Newsmen further reveal that the leaders' summit, the climax of the G20 will carry out over the year through ministerial meeting, working groups and engaging groups would be presented for adoption at the summit. The summit will be attended by 19 member countries, including Argentina, Australia, Brazil, Canada, China, Germany, France, India, and Indonesia. Others are Italy, Japan, the Republic of Korea, Mexico, the Russian Federation, Saudi Arabia, South Africa, Turkey, UK, and the United States. In line with the theme of the summit, Da Silva declared a three-point agenda of combating hunger, poverty, inequality at the summit, scheduled to be held from November 18 to November 19. Tinubu is attending the 2024 G Summit as the organizer invited representatives of the African Union and the European Union. The Brazilian ambassador to Nigeria, Carlos Herrerias, conveyed Da Silva's invitation to Tinubu to attend the 2024 G Summit on August 29, when he presented his letter of credence to him. Arias had said that Silva was looking forward to welcoming President Tinubu to the G20 Leaders Summit, saying that food security was the main proposal of the Brazilian presidency at the G20 to eliminate extreme poverty by 2020. President Tinubu arrives Brazil for G20 Summit. For more details on the news, you can visit the Punch newspaper. NDDC to spend 1.9 trillion naira 2024 budget on legacy projects. The Niger Delta Development Commission has tied its 1.9 trillion 2024 budget to 1,006 legacy projects in the 9 states of Niger Delta. The commission explained at the weekend that its performance in driving developments in the region encouraged the National Assembly to approve its budget for 2024. The NDDC said in a statement by Director of Corporate Affairs, Seledi Thomas Wakama, that its current leadership approach to development and collaboration was yielding results, as exemplified in the completion of the 5 legacy projects. The Commission added that the 2024 operation was anchored on a theme budget of renewed hope, in line with the federal government budget, adding that the proposal sought to move the NDDC from transaction to transformation. It noted further that the appropriation was a product of the participatory process that involved all the major stakeholders in the Niger Delta region. The NDDC said the 2024 budget plan to raise 1 trillion from Development and Commercial Bank to complete 1,006 legacy projects across the region is pragmatic. It should be encouraged to succeed because it targets specific projects, including roads, bridges, electricity projects, school building, hospital, shore protections, and reclamation. It names some of the legacy projects captured in the 2024 budget as the Obehini Azumini Eti-Ekpo Road, linking Abia to Akwa Ibom State, valued at 39.8 billion naira. The Atabrikan Akan Okpolom Ikant Inwang Akot Atip Iwungu Agan Road with 70 meter span bridge value at 18.9 billion, and the power station for Oron comprising 58 kilometer 123 kV double circuit transmission line from Eket to Oron in Akwa Ibom at 48.1 billion naira. For more details on the news, you can visit the Nation newspaper NDDC to spend 1.9 trillion naira 2024 budget on legacy projects. Minimum wage, federal government to spend 6.5 trillion naira, says MTEL. The federal government of Nigeria has indicated that its spending on personal cost will increase by at least 60% in 2025. It said that this is due to the implementation of the new national minimum wage and the consequential adjustments for all cadres of the federal civil service. Check by newsmen showed that 4.1 trillion was budgeted as personnel expenditure in the 2024 budget. Hence, a 60% increase means an additional 2.46 trillion naira and a sum of 6.5 trillion naira. This is disclosed. This was disclosed in the newly released 2025-2027 medium-term expenditure framework and fiscal strategy paper obtained by newsmen yesterday. The document, approved by the Federal Executive Council last Thursday, facilitates the alignment of the policy objectives with the available financial resources. In July 2024, President Bola Tinubu approved an increase in the minimum wage for Nigerian workers from 30,000 to 70,000 naira. However, the implementation across states has been gradual, with some yet to adopt the new minimum wage, while a number of states have pledged to meet the 70,000 naira minimum wage, and others have gone further, committing to pay amounts higher than the federal government's mandate. Although more than 20 states have announced the implementation of the new minimum wage, the Nigerian Labour Congress last week gave non-compliant states government an ultimatum of December 1, 2024 to implement the new minimum wage. In the MTEF report, the government said 2.6 trillion, representing 65% of 4.1 appropriated in the 2024 budget, has been disbursed as of August. It further envisioned that personnel cost expenditure will increase by 60% next year. The government also provided a sum of 9.6 trillion naira for personnel and pension costs. It added that 9.6 trillion is provided for personnel and pension costs. Meanwhile, the government has emphasized that the new minimum wage payment and increased debt costs are reasons for the 2025 budget deficit of 3.87% to the gross domestic product. For more details on the news, you can visit The Punch newspaper. Minimum wage, federal government to spend 6.5 trillion naira, says MTEF. Dangote, Ipman signed 240 million liters monthly petrol deal. The Dangote Petroleum Refinery has offered to supply 60 million liters of premium motor spirits, popularly called petrol, to the Independent Petroleum Marketers Association of Nigerian weekly, which translates to 240 million liters monthly. It was gathered from the association that the refinery agreed to give 60 million liters of PMS to IPMAN members weekly, depending on patronage. This came as it was gathered that 20 billion Lekki-based refinery is aiming to raise billions of dollars to import crude oil and increase production. Also yesterday, oil dealers started the petrol price. Prices were declining following the competition occasioned by the deregulation of the sector, especially the Nigerian National Petroleum Company Limited and other marketers imported over 2 billion liters of PMS in 42 days. In an interview with newsmen, IPMAN National Publicity Secretary Chinedu Okadike said members of the association can lift any quantity of PMS allocated to them by the Dangote refinery, stressing that independent marketers, the ones distributing the majority of the fuel imported into the country. The call that the association announced recently that it has signed an agreement with the Dangote refinery to lift PMS directly from the refinery without a middleman. Giving an update, Okadike said, "We are going to take off the products in millions of liters. Before now, most of the imported products in Nigeria were distributed through IPMAN, so we can take off the products. We can offtake the products, no matter the millions of liters that are produced." Asked whether there is an agreed volumes that the IPMAN will offtake from Dangote once the independent marketers start loading petrol from the plant, the National Publicity Secretary replied, "We can take from 10 million liters and above, and Dangote has offered to give us over 60 million liters, depending on our patronage." On when IPMAN will start lifting the products, Okadike stated that these will be made public after both parties had concluded discussion on the deal. He expressed confidence that the direct supply will begin before the end of November. Okadike spoke further. IPMAN has gathered its members and we have developed a special purpose vehicle to offtake the products from the refinery. So the issue of individuals going to buy 1 or 2 trucks has gone. IPMAN is now going to be a major distributor and our money will be guaranteed. For more details on the news, you can visit the Punch newspaper. Dangote IPMAN signed 240 million liters, a monthly petrol deal. Before we bring the newspaper review to a close, these are the headlines again. Nigerians sovereign reversing floating of Naira, energy cost, Labour urges President Tinubu. President Tinubu arrives Brazil for G20 summit. NDDC to spend 1.9 trillion naira 2024 budget on legacy projects. Minimum wage, federal government to spend 6.5 trillion naira, says MTEF. Dangote IPMAN signs 240 million liters monthly petrol deal. And that ends the newspaper review on Carnival Radio, your enjoyment unlimited station. Thank you so much for listening. You can listen to us live via www.carnivalmedia.ng. You can as well follow us on our social media handles at Carnival Media on Facebook, at Carnival Media on YouTube. You can as well go straight to Google Play Store and iOS to download Carnival Media. My name is Ibrahim Adebayo. Do enjoy the rest of your Monday.